Very good evening, friends. I hope you're all doing safe and healthy. Well, I am back with my series on Did You Know? I started that almost, I think, around 2-3 months back, and I think I'm back to that series now. And I thought, let's bring out some very crisp kind of findings in terms of Ind AS. Today, I'm going to talk in terms of Schedule 3, Division 2. When I look at the profit and loss statement under Ind AS, one thing what comes to me is a comparison in terms of Division 1 and the Division 2. What is the treatment of income and expenses in terms of Division 1 as well as in terms of Division 2? Let's find this out in detail today. अनअकैडमी पर शुरू होने जा रहा है सीए फाइनल के लिए योद्धा बैच। मई 22 और नवंबर 22 के जो बच्चे अपनी तैयारी कर रहे हैं, 4 अगस्त से नए बैचेस शुरू होने जा रहे हैं। सीए फाइनल ग्रुप 1 के सभी सब्जेक्ट्स और सीए फाइनल ग्रुप 2 के सभी सब्जेक्ट्स इसके अंदर कवर होंगे। ग्रुप 1 के जो सब्जेक्ट्स हैं उनके अंदर लॉ ले रहे हैं अमित पोपली सर, राहुल मलकान सर ले रहे हैं एसएफएम, मैं ले रहा हूं फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग और खुशबू सांघवी मैम ले रही हैं ऑडिट। ऐसे ही ग्रुप 2 के सब्जेक्ट्स के अंदर सचिन गुप्ता सर ले रहे हैं एससी एमपी और दुर्गेश सिंह सर ले रहे हैं डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस और महेश गौर सर ले रहे हैं इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस। और इसका सबसे बड़ा एडवांटेज ये है कि आप इसके अंदर केवल एक सब्सक्रिप्शन के द्वारा सभी सब्जेक्ट्स को देख सकते हैं और इसके अंदर बेनिफिट्स ये हैं कि लाइव इंटरेक्टिव क्लासेस हैं और आपके डाउट सॉल्विंग सेशंस होते हैं जिसमें हर हफ्ते रादर मैं कहूँगा एवरी 4th सेशन इज़ अ डाउट शेयरिंग और रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर्स वैसे तो आपको देखने की आवश्यकता नहीं, लेकिन अनलिमिटेड रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर्स पर आपका एक्सेस है और साथ में आपको टेस्ट सीरीज भी इसके अंदर अवेलेबल है। ये हमारे कुछ प्राउड लर्नर्स हैं जिन्होंने अनअकैडमी प्लेटफॉर्म के अंदर पढ़कर रैंक्स ली हैं, जिनमें आप देख सकते हैं ऑल इंडिया रैंक 1, ऑल इंडिया रैंक 2, ऑल इंडिया रैंक 3 और इस तरह से कई सारे लर्नर्स हैं। आप भी अपना नाम इसके अंदर शामिल कर सकते हैं और एक सब्सक्रिप्शन आपने लेनी है और इस एक सब्सक्रिप्शन के अंदर आप सभी सब्जेक्ट्स कवर कर सकते हैं और इस पर डिस्काउंट भी आप अवेल कर सकते हैं। 10% डिस्काउंट अवेल कर सकते हैं। उसके लिए मेरा कोड इस्तेमाल करना है CAKB10 और आपको इंस्टेंटली 10% डिस्काउंट मिलेगा। अगर दोनों ग्रुप्स की आप प्लानिंग कर रहे हैं तो दोनों ग्रुप्स के अंदर भी आप अपने हिसाब से प्लान चूज कर सकते हैं और उसके अंदर भी आपको 10% डिस्काउंट अवेल कर सकते हैं। मेरा कोड इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं CAKB10। और एक आपको चलते चलते और खबर दे देते हैं रिगार्डिंग दी कम्बैक्ट स्कॉलरशिप टेस्ट, जिसके अंदर सीए इंटरमीडिएट के लिए 1 करोड़ का एक स्कॉलरशिप पूल क्रिएट किया गया है और उसके अंदर आपको टेस्ट इंग्लिश में देने हैं और 40 क्वेश्चंस आपको 60 मिनट्स में आंसर करने पड़ते हैं और ये हर संडे के संडे टेस्ट कंडक्ट होता है जिसके अंदर आपको इनाम मिलते हैं इन द फॉर्म ऑफ सब्सक्रिप्शन, जिसमें आपको पूरी एनुअल सब्सक्रिप्शंस भी एब्सोल्युटली फ्री मिल सकती है। तो आइए मिलकर लेट्स क्रैक इट। Well, I have made a summary chart and this summary chart is making a reference to certain point numbers which are given in Schedule 3, Division 2. Now, if you look at the profit and loss format and the other comprehensive income, you will notice that there are, 2 focus points. One is a point number 13 and one is a point number 14. Point number 14 is the point from where the OCI, that is the other comprehensive income section, starts. Now, if you compare the approach which we are following in terms of the IGAP, what we call the accounting standards, or in terms of Schedule 3, Division 1, you would notice that we were putting every income and expense in the profit and loss account. Now, that was leading to impact on the profits, and that was also leading to consequential impacts on the earning per share. To quote, in fact, in terms of Accounting Standard 5, it says that any item of income and expense which are recorded in the period are supposed to be taken in the computation of profit or loss. But look at the contrast in terms of Indies. If somebody will ask me where are the income and expenses taken in the Indies, that is in division 2. Well, I would say that there are basically 3 places where the income and expense gets recorded. Either it enters in the computation of profit or loss till the point number 13 in the income statement, or it is taken in the other comprehensive income section, which is the point number 14 in the profit and loss statement, or it is taken in terms of SOKE, that is directly in the statement of changes in equity. Now, there is something very interesting to find out, that when you take the income and expenses in the point number 13, what is the impact on the profitability of the current year? What is the impact on the earning per share? Similarly, when you take it in the OCI, then what is the impact on the profits or on the earning per share? And when you take directly in the statement of changes in equity, then what is the impact? So you can see a comparative chart where I've just tried to summarize 4 different aspects. One is, does income and expense get recorded in these places? Does it get recorded in the calculation of the profit or loss for the period? Yes. Does it also get entered in the OCI section of the profit and loss? Yes. Is it also taken directly at times in statement of changes in equity? Yes. Now, when you take these items at different places, let's have a quick look at some very basic examples. Because in India, there are a lot of examples where you could correlate, whether you're going to take it in point number 13 or 14 or SOKE. And this also has a consequential impact in terms of deferred tax computations. When you apply the concept of India's 12 and you consider the corresponding deferred tax implications on these items, wherever the income and expense is taken, you take the deferred tax consequences also at that very place. A very basic example what comes to the mind is, if let's say under Ind AS 16 there has been a devaluation of the asset for the first time, you take it in the profit and loss, so it goes in the calculation of point number 13, the profit or loss for the period. But when there is, let's say, a first time upward revaluation of the asset, then it is taken in the OCI section, and that is in point number 14, and then it is accumulated in terms of SOKE. But it is first taken to the OCI and then it is accumulated in statement of changes in equity. And when you look at the statement of changes in equity, I think the best examples are given in the format itself, that if there is any correction of errors or there is a changes in accounting policies, which is both done with a retrospective impact, we make a restatement of the opening balances in the statement of changes in equity. Now, what is the consequential impact in terms of the current year profits and the current year EPS of the company? When you take it to the point number 13, the profits get impacted, the earning per share get impacted. When you take it to the point number 14, which is the OCI section, in that case, the profit gets affected, but the EPS doesn't get affected. As per Ind AS 33, when you calculate the earning per share of the company, we do not consider the whatever is taken in the OCI section in terms of EPS. So you can see the contrast. What goes in 13 affects the profit for the year and the EPS. What goes in 14 affects the profit but not the EPS. And what is directly taken in the statement of changes in equity neither affects the profit of the current year nor affects the earning per share of the current year. Isn't that an interesting observation? I have more inputs coming in the next video, but I'm going to look at a little more deeper details on 14, that is OCI section, which has got a 14A and a 14B. It is called a recycling and a no recycling concept. But that's all for the day. Thank you, take care, and goodbye.